Welcome to the Calm Mom Podcast, the show for ambitious women ready to get off the hot mess express. I know you've got a lot going on. You work so hard, you're raising an incredible family, and sometimes it can be overwhelming. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a certified master life coach, attorney, wife, and mom. And years ago, I was right where you are. I was running a busy law practice while raising a family, and I was on the fast track to burnout. I thought I just needed to be more organized or have better routines, but it was learning how to heal and regulate my nervous system that expanded my capacity to gracefully hold more of this big, beautiful life. You too are worthy of an extraordinary life in and beyond motherhood. Learning to be a calm, anchoring presence in your home and at work is going to be your superpower. If you're here to do the inner work that brings a sense of calm amidst the chaos, I'm here to join you on that journey. Each time you press play, your growth continues. So let's get at it. Hey guys, welcome back to the Calm Mom Podcast. Michelle Grosser here, your master coach. I thought we'd do something a little different today. I want to talk to you about the 3 different energy types because each particular energy type responds best to particular practices and exercises of nervous system regulation. So what I want to do today is I want to go over each of the 3 energy types. You guys can hear them. You can, choose the one that seems to fit most for you, self-identify which energy type you are. And then based on your energy type, I'm actually going to give you a couple nervous system regulating exercises, somatic practices that you can use that are most effective for that particular energy type. Sound good? All right, let's do it. Okay, so the first one are high energy people. You guys, my high energy people, you tend to have a lot of sympathetic, which is that anxious, nervous, maybe even angry sometimes, irritable, a lot of sympathetic and a lot of play energy. So you're just more energetic by nature. You might tend to feel more anxiety or express anger or have frustration more readily. You tend to have a tendency towards play. You can be pretty animated in your demeanor. You tend to experience the sympathetic state, so that high energy state, more often than you experience the dorsal vagal, which is that kind of shutdown state. So what you typically need is to discharge excess energy. So you might find if you are a high energy person that your biggest struggle is often just turning off, right? Shutting down, checking out, being able to rest, being able to relax. Those things might be difficult for you. So that's energy type number 1. Let's talk about the second energy type. It is the lower energy type. So if you find that you are a lower energy person, you're kind of the opposite. You tend to experience a lot of the dorsal vagal dysregulated state. So you might tend to find yourself more dissociated, spaced out, numbed out. When you're dysregulated, you might find yourself scrolling, binging TV where you're just kind of watching it and not even really absorbing or interacting with the information that's coming through to you. You also experience lots of stillness, which is a beautiful practice. You often experience things like feeling stuck, feeling out of your body, not connected to your body. So that is the second energy type. If you relate with that, hold on to it because I'm going to come back and give you guys some exercises for that particular energy type. And then the third type is as a balanced person. And if you find that you can follow nervous system regulating exercises, a couple deep breaths, maybe some tapping, maybe some shaking, and that's usually enough to just rebalance any dysregulation that you feel here or there, then you're typically what they would call a balanced person. You have a balanced energy type. Okay, so if you resonated with the higher energy type person, if you find that you have a lot of energy, if you find that you're just kind of a little wired by nature, a little more anxious by nature, you have a tendency towards play, Some things that can be really helpful for you is to introduce a daily stillness practice. So you want to try to incorporate, it doesn't have to be anything extensive. I know we're all busy, but just 10 minutes a day. You can even split it up if that feels easier to start. 10 minutes of stillness a day. And maybe do it right when you wake up in the morning. Get yourself a tea or some water, something to drink. Find a quiet place before your kids wake up. 10 minutes. No podcast, no songs, no news, no, social media. Just 10 minutes of stillness practice. Maybe you do meditation. Maybe you journal. Maybe you pray. Maybe you just sit there and do a body scan and start at the top of your head and work your way all the way down, paying attention to how your body feels today, right? What kind of things are you noticing? Any tension, any pain, any constriction, any openness? What kind of messages is your body trying to tell you? And having a 10-minute practice every day, you're going to find that it is a call to practice because it takes practice, right? It might be super difficult for you to do this the first time. If you're a high energy person, you might find that your thoughts are everywhere and it causes you even more anxiety to feel like you're slowing down. And that's totally normal. It's totally normal, right? Your body's been so conditioned to be on go mode 24/7 that that's what it knows. And our nervous system will always choose what is familiar, even over what is best for us or healthiest for us or what serves us best, right? It'll always go to what's familiar. So this, if you're a high energy type, a practice of stillness will likely feel unfamiliar until it doesn't, right? And the only way to make that transition is to start. So if 10 minutes even feels like too much, guys, 2 minutes is a win. 5 minutes is a win. And grow it. Grow it by a minute each week or however you want to do it until you get to a point where you're getting at least 10 minutes in every single day. And you're going to notice a difference in your nervous system. The other thing that you can do that's really helpful for people with high energy to start a practice of stillness, and you can try this right now as long as you're not driving or in a place where you need your vision, is you can take your hands and take kind of like the bottoms of the palms of your hands and place them over your eyes. So like your fingers are kind of covering your forehead and the bottoms of your hands are over your eyes. And you don't like shove them into your eyes, but just a gentle pressure over your eyes with both hands. And I'm like sitting here. I realize you can't see me, but I'm like sitting here with my hands over my eyes as I'm explaining this to you. But you can introduce stillness in a casual way. It can familiarize your nervous system with stillness in a way that's actually soothing to your nervous system. And try that. Try sitting with your hands like that, the palms of your hands over your eyes. Try it for a minute. And notice what it does to your nervous system. Notice how you felt before that practice and notice how you felt after. You can do some deep breathing while you have your hands like that pressed over your eyes. You can do some affirmations. You can do whatever kinds of things feel soothing for you. But that's a beautiful practice if you find that you're a high energy person. Have you ever caught yourself wondering why you do the things you do? Like, why do you get so angry and yell at your kids when they're moving at a snail's pace in the morning? Or why is it so hard to relax when the house is a mess? If so, you've got to take my personality patterns quiz. Because here's what's going on. When you were a child, whenever an experience overwhelmed your nervous system, you subconsciously built a defense against that overwhelm. And over time, those defenses became a habit, and then they became a pattern. And now as an adult, what we think of as our personality is really actually often this defense pattern running the show. It's so interesting, right? There's 5 different personality patterns. And they're not personality types like the Enneagram or the Myers-Briggs, but rather they describe the safety strategy that you immediately go to when you start to feel overwhelmed. They don't describe who you are, but rather what's actually blocking who you are. And the good news is that once you take the quiz and you learn about your pattern, you can learn skills to break out of that pattern and then live and parent as your true and authentic self. So click on the quiz link in the show notes or go to michellegrosser.com/quiz now to take my 2-minute personality patterns quiz. All right, other end of the spectrum. If you find you're a lower energy person and you tend to experience this feeling of being stuck or just dissociated from your body or feeling very low energy, burnout, right? A lot of us that experience dorsal vagal, this low energy, we're in a state of burnout. You are going to benefit significantly from consistent social play and exercise. Consistent social play and exercise. So, exercise is pretty obvious. You're going to want to move your body. Again, 10 minutes is a great place to start. I'm not saying that you guys have to join CrossFit. I'm not saying you have to train for a marathon or go to Pilates every day. All those things can be great. But for the benefit of your nervous system, 10 minutes of consistent movement every single day will work wonders for you. Guys, that's how long it takes to do, a walk around the block. That's how long it takes to do a few jumping jacks and some sit-ups, right? Like, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to even put on like this workout gear and get all sweaty at time. Like, don't overcomplicate this. If this is new to you, just get moving. 10 minutes a day, you're going to see such a difference in the regulation of your nervous system, in your energy level. And then the next thing is play. And guys, play is one of the most underrated tools for adults in adulthood. We are never too old to play. We are never too serious to play. We never outgrow play. We are wired to play. And when I say the words play, a lot of times people associate that with like, oh, playing with my kids, like, I don't know, building Legos with them or being creative. And like, it can encompass all of those things. But when I think of play and the manner in which it helps to regulate your nervous system, you want to be doing something enjoyable that brings you pleasure and lights you up. So if it is a chore for you to play Barbies with your kids or Legos with your kids, that's probably not going to count as your 10 minutes of play each day. But if it brings you immense joy to, dust off your saxophone or to dust off that paint set that's been sitting in the closet at the end of the hall, or to pick up your skateboard because you haven't skateboarded in 15 years, or whatever hobbies you've had that bring you joy, like, guys, that does so much to regulate your nervous system. It's beautiful, beautiful, powerful self-care. I was going to say something else and I just forgot. The other thing too is that it doesn't necessarily have to be a game or competitive, but board games, family game nights, if that's enjoyable to you, that can certainly count as play. And then another great thing that can count as play that's super easy to incorporate is dance. Like, who doesn't love to just put on your favorite song and dance in the kitchen with your family, dance in the car by yourself, dance in the shower, right? 2 or 3 songs and you've gotten your 10 minutes in, and you will notice immediately a significant change in the state of your nervous system, your energy level, your mental state, right? Your mindset, where you're at with your perspective. Things can change so significantly in just a few minutes of play. All right. Exercise and somatic exercises, right? Somatic practices, somatic exercises that I want to give you if you identify as a lower energy person. Body tapping. Take a hand, your right hand, for example, and kind of put it into, like, fold your fingers down into a fist, and then just go ahead and start tapping your body. Again, I'm doing it. I know you can't see me, but tap your chest, tap your arms, go down your arms, do it with your other hand, tap down your other arm. You can tap over your torso, tap down your legs, your thighs, down to your calves, then tap all the way back up. You can do it with as much pressure as feels helpful and comfortable. I have some clients who prefer really light tapping, and that's enough to get them out of their heads and into their bodies. I have some clients who prefer pretty firm tapping. So whatever seems to work for you. But the point here is that this is initial grounding. If you have low energy, and it increases interoception, which is basically your body awareness. So this practice of tapping your body for, start with a minute and a half, 2 minutes. It gets your nervous system, right, out of your head if you're a really heady person, and gets you into your body and starts changing the signals, right, where they're coming from, your body or your brain, and the messages that are being sent. And it helps you to connect with your body and have an awareness about what's going on in your physical body. Okay, and then if you identified as a balanced nervous system energy type, right? If you're someone who finds that, a couple deep breaths, a couple affirmations, a couple jumping jacks, like any of these things when you're dysregulated seem to regulate you fairly quickly, that's great. That's great. And what I would recommend for you is really to anchor that in daily, right? Daily. Make it a practice to anchor in that state of regulation. So if you find that you are fairly balanced in your nervous system, you don't find that you're either really high energy or really low energy, but you kind of fall into that mid-range, I recommend that you keep a 5-minute daily interoception practice. And this is going to serve to ensure that your nervous system stays resilient, right? It stays capable of responding to the changes in life. Your window of tolerance stays super broad. You have high capacity. You can hold a lot of things that life throws at you without becoming dysregulated. So 5 minutes, keep it up every single day. That's going to make sure it's like exercise, right? Like it's a lot easier to stay in shape than it is to get in shape. And the same is true with your nervous system and your neurological fitness. So if you find that you have pretty consistent, balanced nervous system regulation, then you want to make sure that you have, I would say, a 5-minute daily practice to keep that nervous system regulated and resilient. So something that works really well is also that body tapping. Like I just talked about, if you are in a lower energy state, that works really well. Just do that for a couple minutes. That will help keep you resilient. You can do arm and leg squeezes. So instead of actually tapping yourself, you would just squeeze your arm and your legs. So you could go down one arm with the other hand and kind of just give it gentle squeezes as you work your way down. Do the same thing on your other side. You might start in your shoulders. You could even start as high as it feels good on your neck. Work your way down your arm all the way back up. Do the same thing with your legs. And that also really helps to increase interoception and keep your body connected to your mind and keep yourself just aware of what's going on in your body. Other activities that are really helpful and can be part of your daily practice if you are a balanced energy type is things like yoga, meditation. If you have a breathwork practice, that's beautiful. Moments of stillness, moments of prayer, all of that can increase awareness of the body and the breath, which increases awareness of the interoceptive system. And then when you're increasing interoceptive awareness of what's going on in your body, right? Where am I holding tension? Where am I holding pain? Where do I find that there's openness? Where is there constriction? What messages is my body trying to tell me? All of that, right? These embodiment practices help to improve emotional regulation and overall nervous system balance. I would love to hear first which energy type you are. Are you higher energy? Are you lower energy? Or do you find that you're fairly in between and balanced? And then if you try these exercises, any of them, I would love to hear your thoughts, what worked, what you find didn't work so well. Maybe we could talk about other options. You can reach me on Instagram at michellegrosser.coach. You can send me an email, hello@michellegrosser.com. I always love to hear from you guys. And if you found this helpful, if you could share it with a couple other women in your mom community, in your work community, in your family, that would be so awesome. I would so appreciate it. I love you guys so much. I will talk to you soon.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
If you enjoyed this episode, it would be so awesome if you could take a moment to subscribe and rate the podcast. And if you have just a few more seconds to leave a quick review, they really help to get this podcast out to other moms like you. I read every last review, and trust me, when it's late at night or early in the morning before my kids get up and I'm working on bringing you all of this content, your reviews are what keep me going. Leaving a review is truly the best way you can thank me. And of course, DM me on Instagram. I love to hear from you. Thanks for listening to another episode. Head over to the show notes for this episode and all past episodes at michellegrosser.com. where you'll find free resources and more ways to connect with me. If you love the show, share it with a friend. Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you next time.